Good morning. Welcome. We're here. We made it. This is our 10 a.m. deep stretch class. My name is Melissa. I'm HealthWare's registered dietitian and personal trainer. It is Tuesday. It's a new month and my schedule changed, so we are doing class on Tuesday rather than Thursday, but at the same time. So welcome if you made it live, or if you're watching the recorded version later on here on Facebook or on our new YouTube channel. You will need an exercise mat. We'll be doing some stretching on the floor as well as standing. So have something that you can have on the ground that's a little bit softer. I have music I'll play in the background for us. Yes, this is not a yoga class. I remind everyone that every time. I'm not a yoga instructor. We are just doing stretching for the purpose of improving our flexibility, stretching out any tight, sore muscles, but not necessarily a yoga class. Hi, Molly. So that's it. Let's get started. 30 minutes is about our class length. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna start. Oops, wrong buttons. All right, we're gonna start with just a little bit of a dynamic warm up. So we're moving through the stretches rather than holding the stretches, getting our muscles warmed up a little bit before we stretch them out for long holds, okay? So we're just pedaling the feet to warm up here from the ankles into the legs. Keep going. I'm gonna grab a quick sip. Pedaling those feet. All right. Wet my whistle. All right, take those feet apart, and we're gonna isolate through the knees, pressing forward slightly, just sort of warming up through the knees, through the hips. We'll get a little bit more into those with our static stretches, the long hold stretches. I feel like my shirt's like bunched up underneath my top shirt. Good, keep going. All right, you bring those feet back together and pull that knee up and across. Good, pull it up and across, kind of waking up those hips a little bit more. Waking up that core. Yes. Did you join me for strength training this morning? It'll feel good to stretch. All right. Now sweep the arm across and other. So we're stretching through that upper back, waking up our upper torso a wee bit. Good. Now take that arm, reach overhead, big stretch up, and switch. Moving through our ranges of motion before we get into those long stretches. Couple more. Alrighty, with the head, give it a tilt side to side, nice and slow, all right? Nice and gentle with that neck. Nice. Gently stretching through those vertebrae. Very careful though. And rotate side to side. Just a gentle turn of that neck. Is your neck stiff this morning? I woke up with a little bit of a stiff neck. Gotta work through that. Good, hold it there. All right, we're gonna do a few stretches standing before we get down to the floor. So, starting with one that's not for everybody, but it is the most effective I find for stretching our quads. So you can hold on to the wall, a chair, table, whatever you like. If you have a strap and you can't reach, or a towel and you can't reach your foot, this would be the time to use one of those. For everyone else, go ahead and grab the top of your foot, So aim that knee down towards the floor. Don't let it float up, okay? Keep it down towards the floor. Don't let it float back too far. It can hurt our back. So just pulling that heel in towards the glute, in towards the bottom. If you can't pull that foot all the way towards your bottom, it's okay. If you have to have it out a little further, it's totally fine. We all have different ranges of motion with this stretch. And again, if you need extra assistance, wrap a towel or a strap around the top of your foot and hold on to the strap rather than your foot. So you want to feel the stretch through the front of this leg that we have bent. The quads are what we're stretching here. And we're going to get a couple of chances at this one, okay? Go ahead and release that. We're going to switch to our other side. Pick up that foot, stretching. Oh, this leg is a lot tighter than my other leg. Can you feel that sort of difference in your body? Can you tell if one side is more tight than the other just from this stretch? Again, focusing on the front of that leg, those quadriceps muscles. Standing up tall. Keeping that spine neutral. Don't let the back arch or push back. Can't even do it. I'm going to hurt myself if I even try to demonstrate it. Breathing deeply through these stretches, right? Our muscles need oxygen. So you want to keep taking nice deep breaths. Nice. Go ahead and release out of that. We're going to do that again. Back to your original side. Standing up tall, stretching through that quad. It is a good stretch. A very good stretch. We don't often take time to stretch out the front of that leg, the quadriceps. So it's great to stop once a week at least and do it here together. Good, go ahead and let's switch. Last time on this side, last chance. How's your leg feel now? Feel like a little bit loosened up, a little bit more flexible in that, not quite as tight when you give pressure onto that stretch. Alrighty, go ahead and release out of that. We're going to now take it into a nice deep lunge position. I'm going to start this way. Doesn't really matter which way you start, but taking those feet nice and wide, all right? We're going to bend that front knee. You can keep the back leg straight. Heel is pressing down. Pelvis tucked under slightly to keep that spine neutral, and we're pressing our weight forward into that bent knee. All right, pressing down through the heel. Keep the knee behind your toes in front. We're working on stretching through our hip joint now. We got our quad, and now we're going to work a little bit more into that hip. Stretching through those hips. They get very tight on most of us because we sit a lot. We often sit. So stretching through that hip joint is so good for us. Good. And I want you to take this front arm and reach it overhead, big stretch, leaning away slightly from that leg that we're stretching. Leaning away, think about lengthening through the upper body, stretching away from the hip, releasing through the rib and the hip, and stretching through the front of that hip deeper. Good, go ahead and release out of that. We're going to switch to our other side. A nice deep lunge. Get your feet situated where they need to be. Back heel down, pelvis tucked under slightly. Press that weight forward, down into that front heel. Try to keep those hips square towards the direction you're facing, right? Not front, towards the direction you're facing. Keep those hips there. How's it feeling? Get that stretch through the hip. Very nice. Keep breathing deeply. How's your balance here? Doing all right? Take that front arm, big reach overhead, stretching out, careful with the back, stretching through the side of the body. So through the ribs, releasing away from the hip, and then stretching even deeper through the front of that hip in this nice lunge position. Good. From here, go ahead and release. Bring it back towards the center. Feet are going to be apart, all right, pretty wide. And we're going to work on our inside thighs a little bit now. If you joined us for strength training this morning, we did work a little bit of our inside thighs, those adductors. So I want you to push your weight over to one side. It doesn't matter which side, as long as we get both. Keep those hands on your quad for now. Weight is pressing into those hands. Most of your weight is on this foot. Bottom is pushing back, spine straight, so the back is flat. And you were working on stretching the inside of that extended leg. Stretching through the inside. Careful, only stretch to where you can feel it tighten, not to where it's painful. A little bit of core and arm work here and leg work to keep your body in this position, right? Is your belly button pulled in? Pull that in. Keep it in tight. Always a good chance to work on that posture, work on those tight core muscles. Keep everything in tight. Let's go ahead and pick up and we'll switch to our other side. Same movement, just leaning down now into your other leg. Weight is primarily into this leg right in front of you, right below you. Stretching through the inside thigh on that extended leg. Back is flat, bottom is pushing back. Okay? Keep that back flat, try not to round, hunch over. And again, belly button is pulled in tight. Eyes gazing down at the floor. I know you probably have to glance up at me once in a while, but on this one, try to keep your eyes down to the floor as best as you can so we keep that spine neutral. Good, bring it up. And we're gonna do it each side one more time, all right? Press that weight down. Can you get a little lower this time? Can you get your elbow down onto your leg? Or if you want, bringing it all the way down, hands to the floor. Putting some of that pressure on your hands, on the floor. Still stretching through that inside thigh though. That's our focus. All right, bring it back up to your leg if your hands are on the floor. And we're gonna shift back over, finish up. One more time on this side. If you want, hands down to the floor or elbow on your leg if you like. Trying to get a little bit deeper into this stretch. How's that supporting leg underneath your body? Is it getting tired? Good, bring it back up right there and then shift your weight back to center. Did you do it? Did you make it? I'm gonna grab a quick sip. All right, feet together. And from here, I actually want you to take one foot, cross it over your opposite foot. So a little bit of a twisted pretzel with your feet. Okay, careful with your balance. And then twist gently through the spine towards that leg that you picked up, okay? Twist gently. Holding on to your hip, behind your hip, for a little extra support there to get some pressure into that. Just a little bit of a full body twist is what we're doing. Twisting through that spine gently, twisting through the torso. How's your balance with this one? If you need to hold on to a wall, that's fine. All right, go ahead and untwist. Untwist those legs, and we're gonna do it on their opposite side. So pick up that leg, set it down on the ground, leg twist, And then torso twist, holding behind that hip to add the pressure to hold that twist. Gently holding through that twist. No back pain, right? We don't want any back pain. If you start to feel pain, then I want you to release out of it slightly. Full body twist gently is what we're trying to achieve. Good, go ahead and untwist. We're gonna do it again one more time on each side. Woo! Nice twist through that body. Standing up tall, thinking about pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Looking over that shoulder. Entire body twisting. How's your balance? Hanging in there. Go ahead and untwist. And last time, last side, twist those legs and rotate through the torso. Belly button pulled into the spine still. Think about standing tall. All right, good. Go ahead and untwist and grab your exercise mat. Go ahead, throw that down on the ground, or if you're using a blanket or a towel, whatever it is that you're using. Good. And I'm going to aim the camera down just a tiny bit so you can see me a little better. Hopefully. There we go. That'll do it. All right. All the way down. Ooh, did you hear my knees pop? All the way down to that mat. Legs out in front. Knees can be bent here. Reach those arms overhead. Big stretch through the torso. Feel it all the way from your sit bones all the way to your hands. Big stretch. Pull open those ribs. Breathing deeply. All right, let those arms float down. Take one arm across the body. Cradle it with your opposite arm. Stretching through the shoulders. Let those shoulders lower down. You can feel the stretch through your neck a little bit. And also through that upper back, into the shoulder and into that arm. Nice. Still sitting up tall. Think about pulling that belly button in towards your spine. And go ahead and switch. Release that. Take it across with your opposite arm, cradling it gently with your arm. Feeling the stretch of the upper back into the shoulder, into the arm, as well as perhaps into your neck gently. We're going to do it one more time on each side. Go ahead, original arm stretching a little bit more perhaps. Hug that arm in towards your body. No pain through that shoulder joint though. Only feeling the stretch in the muscles gently. No joint pain. If you tuck that chin in slightly, you'll be able to feel a stretch in the back of your neck gently. Tucking that chin in. Let's switch. Last time, last side. Pulling that arm in towards the body, stretching through the shoulder, the upper back, and tuck that chin in to feel the stretch through the back of your neck a little bit. release that. I want you to flip on over to your hands and your knees. Thinking about keeping that core tight throughout this exercise. Hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, yes. And we're going to be arching the back up, so we tighten up, arch through that back, let the head hang. And then the opposite, let that belly hang down low, hips pressing up gently. And then reverse it again, stretching up through the spine, lift the middle of that spine, and release. Looking up. Good, let's do it again. Looking down, reaching that spine up. And reverse. Go ahead and look up, hips up. Very nice. Return to neutral. And from here, make sure those knees are still wide, at least hip distance apart. And you're gonna press all the way back down into child's pose. This is a yoga position, but it's a good one, so we're doing it today. Forehead on the seat, on the floor. Stretching out through those shoulders, letting those hips release back. Keep holding it. All right, from here, I want you to bring that body up all the way forward. Keep those feet tucked down, and we're going to be stretching through the upper torso. A little bit of arm strength needed. Stretching up, opening through the abdominals. Careful with that low back. All right. And bring it back to that child's pose again. Stretching back through the back of that body. Bring it back up again, all the way forward. Careful with your back. Adjust your hands if you need. Stretching through the ribs, through the abdominals, feeling that stretch in the front of that body. Strong arms. All right, go ahead and bring it to neutral. And have a seat once again. Did you make it through all that? Probably have a red mark on my forehead. Alrighty, feet out in front, straight legs this time. And we're going to do a forward fold all the way down as far as you're able. We'll do this one a couple times, give us a couple chances. Stretching out the back of the legs. We haven't done much with the back of the legs yet today. That's where we're at now, stretching the backs. If you need support on this one, you could wrap a towel or strap around your feet and hold on to that. Or if you want, hands on your feet, hands on your shins, your quads, the floor, anywhere except for on top of those knee joints, all right? Take a deep breath and lower down even further as best as you can. Give it another inch, another 2 inches, whatever you can, to where you feel that stretch. Tighten, no pain, just a little bit of the tight muscle feeling. Go ahead and sit on up. All right, bring in one leg at a time, pull it in towards the chest, give it a nice little hug. Just gently stretching through that back, the low back, and into the glute. If this is good enough for you, you can stay right here, but we're going to add something a little bit more intense here in just a moment, and you can come along with me or stay right here. Just getting that glute, that hip ready. Go ahead now and take the foot across your leg if you want, and pull that in towards the chest now. Pull that knee in towards the chest with that foot across the leg. You'll feel the stretch deepen through the glute and gently into the low back. Keep taking deep breaths. All right, go ahead and release your grip on the leg, uncross and extend all the way out. Now the other side, pull it in towards the body, hug it in close, getting that leg ready, the glute, the hip, ready to stretch a little deeper. And just like with the other side, if this is a good enough stretch for you, you just stay right here, or if you want, you can join me in our next part here in just a moment. All right, if you want, take that foot across the other leg and hug the leg in towards your chest. Feeling that stretch deepen through the glute and into that low back gently. Tight hug on that knee, as close as you can get it towards your chest. That'll help deepen the stretch. Or if you need to, release it out a little further and that'll help lessen the stretch. Release from there, uncross and extend all the way out. All right, legs all the way straight, and let's forward fold one more time here. Trying to keep those legs straight. Can you get a little deeper into the stretch now? We've done it a couple times and we've worked on our hips and our glutes. You might find that you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Try to keep those knees straight. Don't let them start bending. That defeats the purpose of this stretch if your knees are bent. Take a deep breath. Lean a little bit lower if you can as you exhale. Bring it up to a seated position. Reach those arms overhead. Can you believe that class is almost over? Lower those hands down, reach up again. Big stretch. Somehow it's already been 30 minutes. Lower those hands down. Let's reach up again. One last time. Big stretch, lengthening from your seat all the way to your hands. And let those hands lower down. And you made it! We did it! That was a quick 30 minutes. Boy, time flies. Hope you had a great time in class today. Got some good stretching in. I will be back next week, same time, same place, and hopefully we'll see you soon at the fitness center. May 1st, I believe, is when classes are supposed to restart in person. So hopefully see you then. But until then, I'll be right here with you online. Have a happy Tuesday, everyone. And I will see you next week.